What's up, family? It's your favorite author and storyteller, Matt D. Talford, back with another drive time edition of Maddie's Rap. All right. So, what are we talking about today? First of all, let me acknowledge a couple of people in the room, couple of groups. Okay, not people, groups. If you are new to this channel, thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. Thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. I hope that by the end of this video or before, you will consider hitting that like button and also hitting that subscribe button so that you can be notified when yours truly uploads new content or goes live. And of course, to my returning subscribers, man, where would I be without y'all on this channel, man? Where would I be? I probably wouldn't want to do it, but y'all make it so much fun. So for all of you who comment on all of the videos, you like them, you share them with your friends, you show up on every live, you're active in the chat, Maddie loves you. I do. I love you guys so much. Thank you. Now, whether you are new to astrology or consider yourself to be a seasoned veteran, even a practitioner, when I say practitioner, I mean you have an astrology-based business, you are probably not a stranger to the perpetual debate about which one is better, Western/tropical astrology or Vedic, also known as Sidereal Astrology. Which one's better? Now, let me say this. You'll probably never, ever hear anybody say that Western astrology is better or tropical. You know, I don't even like the term Western, to be honest with you, because a lot of people who are spiritual purists or whatever feel like the West is an adaptation of things that originated in the East. And I'm inclined to agree with them to a degree, but you also have to remember that there were people here in the West for a long time before the arrival of the Europeans or whatever. And that's some of the knock on it, whatever. They're like, well, the Greeks learned what they learned down in Egypt. We know that, all right? They went down and studied in Egypt and came back with their own flavor on it. And after the Renaissance, nobody talked about the ancient Kemetic principles and things that are so germane to society today. Why? Because it has a European slant on it now, and everything's about the Greeks and the Romans, all right? But we're not going there today. We're not going there. We want to keep this strictly about astrology. So, back to my point, you will probably never, ever hear anyone say that tropical astrology is better than Vedic. Now, on the flip side, you got a lot of bougie astrologers that only will deal with Vedic astrology, also known as sidereal. If it's not sidereal, then why ever are you looking at it? You're wasting your time. I'm here to crush all of that, okay? What we're going to do today on this video, this short video, I'm not showing any slides, obviously, because it's a drive time. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to explain to you why debating which system is better is complete and utter nonsense, okay? Utter rubbish. I don't know why I'm on this British thing today, whatever. Anyway, it's pure and utter rubbish. It's garbage, y'all. As we used to say in New York, it's hot garbage. Like, I'm a little bit older, you probably won't hear that now. But back in the day, it was hot garbage. Spelled not G-A-R-B-A-G-E, but G-O-B-B-I-G-E. Hot garbage, all right? The arguments about Vedic being better than tropical, hot garbage. The argument, which nobody makes, about tropical or Western being better than Eastern, Vedic, Sidereal, is hot garbage. Let me explain to you one thing. Take a quarter, a 25-cent piece, okay? You take a quarter and you flip it. And that quarter lands on heads. The head side is up, all right? Would that quarter be any less valuable if the tail side were up? You see where I'm going with this? Okay, stay with me. So let me cut to the chase. If you truly want to understand the differences between Vedic astrology and tropical, also known as Western astrology, the best way I can describe it is this. Western/tropical astrology is, if you're looking, let's look at it this way. Let's say that, because y'all know I'm a tropical astrologer. I just prefer tropical/Western. That's what I like. It doesn't mean I dislike Vedic. It's just that most people, when you talk astrology to them, are familiar with the Western system. Why? Because we're here in the West, all right? Or the aka tropical. And I won't get into why tropical is called tropical. Something about one is based on fixed stars. That's the Vedic, and then the other one is not fixed stars, whatever. Rotation based tropics. Something. I don't have the verbiage in front of me to be able to read it, so I don't want to butcher it. But y'all can look that up, okay? One of them is about how we, well, let me back it up because I'm not cutting this. I'm not editing any of this. I just had a thought to cut it, but I'm like, I'm not cutting this. It's going straight. You know, I might add a couple of, title screens or whatever to it, but I'm not cutting anything. So let me put it like this. If your preference is tropical, then it doesn't devalidate the Vedic system. It just means that you are someone that looks at things from the outside going inward. Okay, and I'm gonna break this down in just a minute. Another way to look at it is to say you are someone that pays attention to the body first, and then the soul. Okay, the soul is your true essence. Your body is the vehicle. So if you prefer tropical, you are someone that cares more about the car. If you're a Vedic, you're someone who cares more about the driver. They both are you. I'm operating this frame. This is my voice you hear speaking, coming from this voice box, from this package, okay? It's just the energy inside of it is the true essence of Matthew, okay? All right? The unseen part of Matthew would be the Vedic. The seen part of Matthew would be more the tropical. And it doesn't mean that, you don't see those characteristics, and you can look this stuff up, guys. If you go to astro-seek.com and just do a basic natal chart calculation, it's going to default to the tropical system. You can click in the drop down box or a link or something and switch it to Vedic and see the difference. So getting back to my point, one tends to focus on the core soul essence. The other tends to focus on the practical nature of the individual. How do they move? Okay. The tropical system is, how do I do what I do? The Vedic system is, why do I do what I do? Okay, remember, guys, on this channel, you guys have heard me say this for as long as I've had this channel, and people who know me personally have heard me say this my whole life. With every what, there is a connected why, okay? So if you are tropical centric, if you prefer tropical to the Vedic, then you care more about the what than the why, okay? Now, if you flip it into the opposite perspective and you say, hey, you know what? My preference is Vedic. I think Vedic is, you hear a lot of people that do Vedic / Sidereal Astrology. They'll say, well, Vedic or Sidereal is more accurate. That is not true. That's not true. It's not more accurate than the tropical, and the tropical is not less accurate than the Vedic, and the tropical is certainly not more accurate than the Sidereal. They both are accurate. If you were to read your Western chart from a natal chart calculator that gives you the description of each one of your placements, you're going to say, wow, that's me. If you were to read the sidereal printout or description of the different placements that go with your sidereal chart, or your who you are from a sidereal perspective, you're going to say, wow, that's me. Okay. So if your preference is first for Vedic / sidereal and then tropical, then you are looking at what you do. I'm flipping it. Y'all stay with me. If you are more Vedic centric or sidereal centric, you are looking at what you do, and then the tropical is telling you how you do it. You see how I did that? So if you go in the opposite direction, if you're saying I'm going to stack tropical on top of Vedic, then it's like tropical is what you do, Vedic is why you do it. But if you flip it and you say, well, I'm a Vedic guy on top, or I'm a sidereal guy on top, Vedic and sidereal is the same if you haven't figured that out by now. I'm a Vedic guy on top, I prefer that to tropical. Then you're looking at who you are or what you are, and then the tropical is showing you how you do what it is that you do. So the tropical is the how if you prefer Vedic. If you prefer tropical, then the Vedic is why. Why do I do what I do? So now let me give you a practical example. Matthew in Tropical Astrology is a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. But if I look at my Vedic slash Eastern slash sidereal chart, I'm a Sagittarius. Now, this is where you will never get confused with this. If you were to read the description, the tropical description of a Sagittarius sun, that's not me. I'm a Capricorn sun all day in the tropical system. But if you were to look at the description of a Sagittarius sun under the Vedic system, I'm a Sagittarius under the Vedic system all day long. Period. End of story. Now, so what does that look like? The nature of the Sagittarius is the wise teacher, is the best way I can say that. That's the wise teacher. The nature of the Capricorn is the achiever, the problem solver. Okay. When you look at me from a Western perspective, you're going to say, well, Matt's a Capricorn, but he's a Vedic Sagittarius. Well, it's quite simple. What I do is Capricorn under the tropical system. Very Capricornian. How I move, that's a better way to say it. How I move is very Capricornian. But if you dig deeper and look at the core soul essence, the Sagittarius, the sidereal Sagittarius explanation explains why I move the way I move. Okay? So, look at it from the opposite side. And under sidereal, I am a Sagittarius, the wise teacher, if you will, the traveler, the explorer, the person who loves foreign relations, that sort of thing, whatever. The person who loves to teach, whatever, all of that good stuff. The person who is religious slash spiritual, all of that. Okay. So if you look at me from a Vedic standpoint, then Matt is a wise teacher. He's a spiritual person. He's he loves foreign, all things foreign language, whatever, travel, that sort of thing at the soul level. How he does it is he does that through achievement and overcoming the nature of a physical Capricorn. So your tropical natal placements have to do with your physical persona, who you are physically, your physical energy, your energy here in this third dimension, okay? Your sidereal one has to deal with your spiritual essence and your spiritual nature. Both of those are Matthew. If you watch me work, you're going to say this dude is a Capricorn all day. He's a Capricorn all day. Okay? But if you pay attention to the type of work I do, aka a la this channel, then you can see, spiritually speaking, the nature of the Sagittarius. So both of these systems are accurate. Okay? Again, my preference is for tropical because that is what most people, tropical is how you move. It's how you move. It's the what, if you want to look at it that way. The sidereal is the why. Okay. Let me give you another example. Let me see. My Mercury, which is your communication, how you learn, how you think, how you speak, that sort of thing. Okay. Under the tropical system, I'm a Sagittarius, Mercury in Sagittarius. Under the sidereal one, I'm a Mercury in Scorpio. The nature of the Scorpio it's a little complex, but we know what it is. It's about healing. It is about what else? The nature of the Scorpio is about. It's a very healing. It's the healer. It is the alchemist. It transforms things. It takes something out of one form that possibly doesn't work and changes it into another form that does. That's the nature of Scorpionic energy. That's why I call it the healer. But it also has the ability to see. Scorpios are the seers of the zodiac. So if you look at the spiritual nature of Matthew's communication style, his Mercury, it is very Scorpionic. I seek spiritually to transform things, to heal, to make something better than it was. That's the nature of me, okay? The other thing about Scorpio is it investigates. A Mercury in Scorpio likes to get to the bottom of things using speech and learning. Okay, using communication and learning, the Mercury in Scorpio likes to get to the bottom of things. Okay, I love to get to the bottom of things at the soul level. At the practical level, I'm a Mercury in Sagittarius. The Mercury in Sagittarius has what? Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so the voice is big. The voice is big. It is the communication tends to lend to wisdom. It is anything being communicated is communicated in a wise fashion. With that being your Mercury which is, again, your communication and your learning. With it being in Sagittarius, it could also mean that when I'm in a learning environment, I end up somehow teaching. That was me in elementary school, believe it or not. Believe it or not. I can tell y'all some stories, but I don't want to belabor this video, okay? So, at the soul essence, my communication and learning is very scorpionic, but how I achieve that is through the energy of Sagittarius. I like to look outside of the box. Sagittarius likes to explore. So I explore different things on a practical nature for what? To support the spiritual side of me, which is the Mercury in Scorpio, that wants to get to the bottom of something. It wants to investigate. It wants to get to the truth. That's the other thing about Scorpio. Scorpio does what it does because it wants to get to the truth. All right? It's funny how you move on the wheel. You move from Libra, which is the sign of justice, balance, truth, all of that, and you go into Scorpio, which is the investigator. So Scorpio is all about that truth energy too, because it got it from Libra. But Scorpio's like, hey, you know what? Let me prove this thing to be true. This is why a lot of Scorpios, like when you tell them something, a lot of Scorpios are mistrusting because they like, I hear you, but I need to see the proof. All right? That is who I am at a spiritual level. I'm learning, okay? I've just been focused more on the practical side of it, practical side of things. Now, so that's just one example, family. I wanted to give you guys some personal examples that might, I hope, help you guys. I'm doing this on the road, so I don't have to give you one more example because, I don't want to just use myself as an example, right? I have a friend, good friend of mine, who is on the tropical side, a midheaven in Gemini, okay? On the tropical side, they're a midheaven in Gemini. On the sidereal side, they are a midheaven in Taurus. So, that picture to me is very clear. It's very clear. At the soul level, there is this need for your career to foster financial independence, financial security. It could also be that, well, I like nice things. So I want to be in a career that will allow me to live my life the way I want to live it, that allow me to have the nice things that I want. That's Taurian energy. That is who that individual is at the soul level. I know that person. That is exactly accurate. Now, on the tropical side, that person is a midheaven in Gemini. What does a midheaven in Gemini do? They tend to change jobs a lot. They tend to always be learning in their career. They're always learning about new ways to make money and that sort of thing. That's Gemini energy all day. So now, remember the 10th house is the house of career. So when you put those two together, remember what I said in the example, the sidereal side is why you're doing what you're doing it, or why you're doing what you're doing. The tropical side is how you go about it. So the reason why this person is doing what they're doing is because they love nice things. They want to feel financially free. They want to feel financially secure, okay? And then how they go about it is they're constantly learning about constantly learning about career and changing jobs, not changing them just for the sake of changing, but a lot of times it's changing because, you know what, this no longer serves my sole purpose. Or this is, maybe I'm stagnant now. Maybe this doesn't allow me to hit the level I want to be at. So it's time for me to look for a new job. Another example, remember, the two support each other, okay? The sidereal is the core soul essence. The tropical is the practical. So just wanted to throw that extra one in there. Now back to the rest of the video. I hope I made that clear to you guys. When you are looking and comparing Vedic astrology to Sidereal Astrology, neither one of them is better than the other. One of them just tells you what the car is, tropical. Vedic tells you who the driver is, all right? One of them tells you what, tropical. The other one tells you why, Vedic, okay? And then from the reverse direction, one of them tells you who you are at the highest level, in the higher realms. That's Vedic. The tropical then is going to tell you how you go about executing in the energy that is you. How you go about executing in the energy that is you. If I'm a Sagittarius sun in the Vedic system, then how my Vedic Sagittarius is supported by my tropical Capricorn. Okay? I teach, I move about, I explore, but I do that through the energy of achievement, hard work, structure, organization, being very grounded. Okay? Again, look at your elements too. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's a mutable fire sign, meaning it's an adaptable fire sign, okay? But on the physical side, it's like the and that's very yin yang if you think about it, because the soul essence. I'm not gonna get into that, y'all. I'm not gonna get into that. But if you had to get into it, the spirit realm is dominated. It's feminine energy dominant. What did I say? The spirit realm, yes. The physical realm is masculine energy dominated. So it's interesting that in the physical realm, I'm in the feminine element of earth, but in the spiritual realm, which is feminine, I'm in the masculine energy of fire. It's kind of cool when you look at the stuff, y'all, but you can really look at it. And if you ever really, as I get ready to wrap this video up, for you to think that you can get one side of the picture by looking at, or for you to think that you can get the entire picture by looking at one system, you cannot. For you to, two halves make a whole. So for you to get a full, complete understanding of the energy that is a person, you have to look at the physical and the spiritual. That's yin and yang, okay? All right? You have to look at the physical and the spiritual. You have to get a full, complete understanding of the individual. You have to look at both aspects, and then and I say start with yourself. You want to fully understand yourself. Look at your Vedic chart and understand it. And if you're new to it, you don't know how to interpret some of these placements or whatever. Again, go to a site like AstroSeek that will give you a description of those different energies and placements. And you got to know what time you were born if you want the fullest picture. If you don't know the time you were born, you're gonna get in the neighborhood, but you're not gonna have the street address to get you to the house. Okay, so that's pretty much all I got. I hope you guys got something out of today's video. Vedic astrology is not better than, for all y'all purists and all y'all bougie people that drop tropical like a hot potato when you learn about Vedic, and somebody else put a bug in your ear and said Vedic, the sidereal astrology is way better, way more accurate. You're wrong. It's just that its primary focus is on the soul essence, okay? The spiritual nature of a person. Okay, that is the sidereal. And then the tropical is the practical day-to-day. Why you move the way you move is Vedic. How you move is tropical. Okay? I hope y'all got something out of that, man. I really enjoyed bringing this content to you guys today, and I'm going to be doing some more astrology videos. But again, I implore you guys, don't look at one system like it's better than the other. Y'all know if you come to me for a natal chart reading, I default to tropical. That's just because that's my wheelhouse, and most people want to get into understanding the practical nature of who they are, because why? We're living in the physical realm. But again, that doesn't make tropical better. That's just what I prefer. But again, if you don't have a whole globe by just having an eastern side. You got to have an eastern and a western side for an entire globe or world. You got an east and a west. You cannot have a west without an east. Tropical is western. Vedic / sidereal is eastern. Both are true. What is more important to you? Is the soul core essence of who you are more important? Then deal with the Vedic. If the tropical is more important, then deal with the tropical. Or if the practical side of you is more important, deal with the tropical. And it's okay to flip-flop. Listen, sometimes when I'm stuck in tropical, I will go to the Vedic for clarification. All right? And if you're in the Vedic side, don't just close a blind eye to tropical, because I promise you'll get more looking at the tropical. So when you hear someone say, you hear me say I'm a Capricorn in the tropical, I identify more, I feel like, with my Capricorn side than my Sagittarius side of the Vedic side. But why is that? Why? Well, because under my tropical system, I still got plenty of Sagittarius energy in there. tropical, I'm Sagittarius, Venus in Sagittarius, Mercury in Sagittarius, okay? Third house Sagittarius under, and the houses don't shift too much. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think the houses move at all, because my house placement is the same in both systems. And that's using the Placidus. I don't do whole sign. Some people, and there again, some people there, well, this sign, whole sign's better than Placidus. I started with Placidus. I like Placidus. I think there's a reason why, you know, in the Placidus, you're going to see intercepted houses. And when you break that down, it makes sense. Under the whole sign, you got one sign per house. You know, under Placidus, you might have one sign crossing two cusps. And then you might have, on the flip side of that, you got one sign crossing two cusps. Then on the other side of that wheel, you're going to have one sign that's completely intercepted inside of a house. And then it's looking like you're skipping a sign when you go to the next cusp. There's a reason for that. All of this stuff is explained. All of it is explicable. But astrology is so fascinating, and it is the truest and best way, I feel like, to learn about who you are, why you move the way you move, how you were designed, how you were built. And when you understand yourself, it also helps you to understand others better. Because you know what? To a more or lesser degree, we're all mirrors of one another. That's all I got, family. I will talk to you guys later. Peace. Oh, but don't forget, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content or when I go live. And then last but not least, I'll end this video the way I end them all. Tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You have to show it. Love is a verb. It is a noun as well, but when we focus on the verb, guess what? The noun takes care of itself, right? It always does. Love you guys. Peace.